Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome back. This is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. We are people living in cages with a gate wide open. That was a quote that I read just yesterday, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I recognize in my own life where I have the freedom to go and live wherever I want to live and do whatever I want to do. And yet, I know, I sense, I recognize how I am holding myself back. So, I want to get into those invisible boundaries that we are too afraid to cross for what? For what? I was listening to a reel yesterday on Instagram, and the wise speaker was talking about how she had interviewed people who had crossed over, to the other side, meaning had died and then had come back. And what they were able to recognize was that this was only a game. This life on this side, on earth, was only playtime. It was a blink of an eye. It was not serious. And yet, when we're in it, we take it far too seriously. When we come here, we are meant to simply live freely. We are meant to love. We are meant to engage in experiences. We are meant to select the things that we love. We are meant to be like children, like we were in our youth, to just be playful and carefree and to enjoy. That is it. So then I want to ask everyone, what in the hell is it that is keeping us from living that carefree? I know, I get the imprinting. I get that society that we were taught you're to go to a grand university, make a great living, climb the corporate ladder, marry, have the children, the house, the picket fence, the retirement fucking fund. I get all those rules that society put on us. But what does God say that we ought to be doing? What's interesting is that when we do our soul searching, when we have our dark night of the soul, we recognize that what we really want to be doing is quite opposite that of what society is telling us we need to be doing. And even though we may not see a way out today, when we really just ask God for guidance, when we really just look at what's essential to us right now in the moment, we will find that all the quote unquote boundaries, all the blocks that we think that's keeping us here, whether it's relationships, whether that if it's a job, whether it's our home, if we really wanted to do what we wanted to do, we could absolutely attain it. It's the problem is we are attached to these material items, and I'm looking at myself. I love my home. I love where I live. I'm grateful every single day, literally every single day for where I live. And I often wonder, have I just give so much gratitude for it? Because what you give gratitude for um, multiplies, it enhances it. And have I just given so much gratitude that now it's to the point where I'm unable to let it go? No. I had to really sit with that thought. I want zero attachments in my life. And as much as I love my home, I will not allow it to hold me back from what God has for me. And I may not know what God has for me. I know his promises. I know what he tells me. But to get to God's promises, I have to go into the darkness where God leads. And I know if you can resonate with this, I know that it may look scary when you need to let go of things that you love. But if God is leading you someplace else, understand that he is leading you to those situations that are more carefree, that are more aligned, that are more playful. So when I think about living in cages with the door wide open, wow, that freaking resonated deeply. I refuse to live this second half of my life caged in like I did the first half. The first half of my life, oh yeah, I was caged in a 9 to 5 that was felt like 12 hours a day. I was caged in into what I thought, the life that I thought that I ought to be living with the husband and the kids and the super low income city of Las Vegas. Like I thought that that's what I needed to be doing. Now, on the other side of healing and removing those rules that society has put on me, now I know the truth. I am free to go and do whatever the hell I want, whatever serves me best. So after that healing, I really have a problem when I recognize things in my life that are hindering my growth. And when I mean things in my life, I mean myself. I found myself just yesterday walking around my home thinking just organically, okay, that can go with me. This won't go with me. Everything can be sold. And the things that I really would love to hold on to, art, books, special gifts. Okay, I can quickly get a storage, put that in my parents' backyard, and I can be off. That is exactly what happens organically when we simply ask ourselves, when we simply ask something higher than ourselves, what is it that is for me? What is it that I really want to do? What is essential for me today? And when I think about that for myself, and I'm giving that question to you, if you can think about what is it that you truly want to do, and then work your way out forward, right? So if you truly want to, I don't know, be living in New York City, what is it that you need to do today to support that dream in the future? What does that look like? If you truly want to quit your 9 to 5 and be a creative, okay, what do you need to do today? What little step can you take today that will help support that tomorrow? So for me, it was quickly and intuitively just do an inventory. What's going and what's staying. And you know what's something else that's interesting? As you heal, you don't have the desire to hold on to material shit. I have stopped purchasing things, and it's been a while. Yes, when I'm traveling and I'll see a cool crystal, a little Buddha, incense, these little things that I just feel like I have to have that one little thing. Yes, I'll buy those things. But I have quickly stopped just consuming, collecting objects. And when I think about why is that, it's just that I don't need anything. I want to be free to go with a bag when it's time to go. When I think about what I truly want, and I got clear this morning, What I want for my life is I want to be able to spread the gospel all over the world. That's what I want. I am clear. It's not simply spreading the gospel here on our platform in Los Angeles. It is, I want to spread the gospel in countries where they barely speak English. I want to spread the gospel in developing countries that I've never heard of. I want to spread the gospel in developed countries. I want to spread the gospel in every corner of this world for the rest of my life. That's what I want. Well, if I want that, then I have to get busy creating that. What is holding me back is the question. What is holding you back is the question. For me, when I look around, I don't really have anything that's holding me back. I don't have children at home. I don't have a mortgage that I need to pay or get someone to rent it out my place. I don't have a car anymore that I'm leasing. That ended the beginning of this year. God has organically stripped away the things that when I looked around, when it was time, when I was prepared, He stripped them away effortlessly, easily. And as He did, I have now gained my wings. And here I am still waiting. What am I waiting for? And that is the question. That is the conversation of today. That is what resonates with me deeply. We are living in a cage with the gate wide open, and yet we remain prisoners. Are you a prisoner of a cage with the gate wide open? Do you know that you're meant to be doing, going, seeing, exploring, being something else? And yet you're sitting here paralyzed, not stepping into it. You better get going. This all ends sooner than you know it. I was speaking with a family member over the weekend who has recently just gotten back from Europe. And, he's in his mid 60s, still very much youthful. And he talked about how he enjoyed taking the train through Italy to the different towns. And he said his only regret, and I hear this often, is that he didn't take trips like this when he was younger. He said it was his first trip to Europe, and he wished he would have stepped in and explored this way when he was younger. And when I asked him why, he said, well, it takes a lot to move about to the different towns. And it's true. If you've ever been to Europe, you know that you can get from one country to the next in a matter of like 3 hours. It's often less than that, but 3 hours on a train. You can be, when I was just there, a couple of months ago, we were in, 5 or 6 different countries for 3 days each. Like, think about that. That's how easily and quickly you can get from one country to the next. It does take, yes, preparation. You have to pack up. You have to get to the train station. You have to check into new hotels every 3 days. So yeah, it's a certain amount of energy that you're exerting to make this happen. And he recognized that had he been doing this in his youth, how he could just get quickly through the different countries. I don't know about you, but I don't want that to be me. I don't know about you, but I'm grateful for his wisdom and his insight and his warning of not to wait. He also said something very profound. He said, which is true, we all know this, we all are every day, we're one step closer to death. That's just it. And he says, I have less time in front of me now than what's behind me. And I hear this from all people who now find themselves in this position. with less time in front of them than behind them, they're usually always, number one regret is not living life freely, not going and doing what they wanted to do, being so worried about a job and a career and a home life. And if that is your dream, if your true dream and you really just love the grind of climbing a corporate ladder and you actually love the how society says, how they define success, family, career, securities, 401k, all those beautiful things, then God bless you. Then you're living your dream. I'm speaking to the ones that doesn't resonate with. That perhaps you are finding that you want more. You know that you're destined for more. What is holding you back? I'm reading for, I think, like the third time, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And what I read yesterday, he says that when you're going after your burning desires, your dreams, you have got to burn the bridges behind you. Woo! That resonated. You cannot go into it thinking, well, I'll do this, I'll live this way for a few months. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just retreat back, home to my old life, to my old job. That's not a burning desire. A burning desire is, I'm going into this, I'm going to win it, period. And there's no going back. That burning desire, those bridges that you burned, pave the way to everything you dreamed of. The problem is we're too damn afraid and we don't believe. So we keep the back door open. And I'm guilty of this for sure. If you followed along, you know that I was in Bali for a month recently. And the reason is because I feel like I'm being called to live abroad most of my time. And so I wanted to test it out. Now, as I was testing it out, I did in my head, I thought, it's okay. I'm not going to be working during this month. No clients will be coming in, but I'm going to be working on everything that serves me. A book, the podcast, the blog, all the things that are aligned with me. At the same time, I knew that at the end of the month, I would be back home. The clients would come back. The money would be rolling in and all would be well. I asked myself today, was that leaving the back door open? Because when I was in Indonesia, I've never felt so aligned in my life. It was a new level of alignment. I feel aligned today, for the most part. And what I say for the most part is complete alignment is living abroad, is only working on my projects. That's complete alignment. When I'm home, I'm working on my projects. Yes, I'm working on other people's projects. And also, I'm not abroad. So that's where the misalignment is. Complete alignment, I'm abroad working solely on my projects. Somewhat and misalignment, I'm home, not abroad, working on my projects and others. You see the slight difference, the slight misalignment? When we are completely aligned with what God has us, our source, what we want, that is when magic explodes in our life. You are completely aligned with everything you ought to be doing. There is no way you can lose. The issue is we don't trust it fully. We keep the back door open. I don't know about you, but today I'm feeling like burning some bridges. I'm feeling like going 100% all in. I'm feeling like I'm terrified to look back in 10 years and say I didn't go for it. Fuck that shit. I'm feeling like I'm ready to go all in. I'm feeling like there's no way I'm going to let myself hold me back from everything God has. Before I do, I want to ask you, what bridges do you need to burn to become everything you're meant to be? What bridges do you need to burn to live the life that you are meant to live? Are you sitting on the post in a cage with the door wide open? Are you a prisoner in a cage with the door wide open? Let that resonate. Let that hit your soul and reveal all it needs to. I don't know about you, but I'm leaving my cage. I'm not falling for the false sense of security. There is not a single soul, there is not a single thing, not even myself, that's going to keep me from all that God has for me. My prayer is that you find the balls to do it also. Thank you for joining me on this episode 59. If you haven't done so yet, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Share this with someone who also is in a cage with the gates wide open. Will you be a savior? I'm going. I don't want to leave everybody behind. I don't want to leave anybody behind, but I know the truth. Everybody won't go. But my intention, my purpose is to bring as many to freedom as I can. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat again soon. Bye for now.